Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd. It's the 21st October 2013. I spent the weekend traveling to and from and spending much of 2 days in Louisiana. And guess what? I got a chance to make photos of flowers. That's mist flower, one of my favorites here in Fayetteville, and it's past bloom here. So these are new pictures of same kind of plants that I photographed a few weeks ago at World Peace Wetland Prairie. So I was glad to find them. And this is all on my own property, a little bit I inherited from my dad in Louisiana, and it's mostly woodland. But anyway, you've got caterpillar on this particular wildflower, and there's so many yellow composites like that, I can't tell you which one it is. And what I wish I could do is tell you what butterfly that caterpillar is going to become, or maybe it's a moth. But you know what? It's beautiful, and there's another, some kind of insect on another of those same composites, I believe. And it's tiny, and I didn't get quite close enough, didn't take the time to get a good shot of it. What you got to do is kind of bend the stem gently and get the sunshine on those things. Okay, here's some things growing in the water in one of the small ponds on my dad's place. It's, as I say, it's now mine in Louisiana, North Louisiana, and that's smartweed, I believe, and I photograph that here frequently in northwest Arkansas. I'm not sure what this beauty is, but it is a beauty, and certainly I didn't do it justice with these photos, but I was just really pleased to find them in the gaps in the woodland, and some of them are woodland flowers that I made on this trip, and I don't get enough of those because I tend to work on the prairies here. Now, that's another example of the mist flower, and I found them in 2 or 3 places. I don't know if that's the dollar plant or what you call it, but it's like a shamrock is what it's like most. That is what we have here, burrowing crawfish in the wetland around the streams, and that's the burrow top, and there's one that's open. You can see the burrow deep going down in there, and they look much like the ones here, depending on the kind of soil you're in. See the tiny acorns? Those acorns, as some of my friends say, and there's Lauren Hawkins in the woods walking nearby. And anyway, the acorns there were some that my daughter and I planted down in that what was an open patch of wetland a few years, 20 years ago and more, and we got them and tossed those tiny acorns, and those particular ones are from trees that we planted back then, and I hadn't been down there in, well, I don't know, close to 20 years. It's not that long. No, it's in 2004 maybe. So a lot of things have changed in that time. But these are cypress knees you see sticking out of the stream that runs through there. And it's a beautiful tiny branch through there, and it becomes a bayou and so forth. And this may be something kind of so-and-so tea or something. I can't remember the name of it, but it grows in the woodland like that normally. It's not just a flower from the prairie. I'm not sure what this is. I had to take a picture of it. Maybe we'll get some friends on the Arkansas Wildflower Facebook site to help us identify some of these. I can't offhand do. And of course, that's a flower fly. It's not a bee, and it's a beauty. It's similar to ones, identical to some I photographed here sometimes. Just a week ago, I think I did, in Fayetteville on Pinnacle Prairie or World Peace Wetland Prairie. So I got a lot of shots of him because I love the colors, and people are intrigued by them, and I like people to realize how important those flower flies are in the scheme of things. Until next time, this is Aubrey Shepherd asking you to do your part, help keep the water clean, the air pure, and promote native plants or native insects and our native birds. See ya. Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd. It's the 24th of October, 2013. We're going to see some photos. And these are from Pinnacle Wet Prairie. That's a prairie tall green milkweed, Asclepias hurtella, gone to seed, and the seeds are blowing out, and we're just hoping that means there'll be more such plants growing next season. Okay, there was a League of Women Voters and Interfaith Power and Light Omni Center and Sierra Club sponsored event on Shale and Wall Street. What it was about, well, you can see some of your friends, local friends here. Ned there. A lot of people showed up, and anyway, they're all environmental activists, powerful believers in the importance of protecting creation from destruction by man-made activities. And anyway, these people were out there to hear this young woman who is an expert on shale gas production, such as we have in the so-called Fayetteville shale, which actually isn't going on in Fayetteville, and I hope they don't figure out there's some under us and start tearing up our city as some others are. Anyway, there's Louise Mann. She provided the food. She's a house mother at the university and in close with some great chefs. There's Joyce Hale, and she was introducing the speaker. And there's our speaker, and it's this woman is a former banker, and she can show you there the return on energy invested there, how it's gone down as far as the amount we get for our money. And it's also that the bankers were unwise in investing in some of this, and the corporations have done a lot of tricks. There is the speaker in the background, or right there in the center. Anyway, it was a great performance. I do have that on a YouTube, I think 3 clips on YouTube right now, and it's available to all to hear her presentation that way and view a bunch of her slides that she used in it. Okay, you're seeing some of the things in bloom this week. This is the 24th, as I said, of October, and these are made in the last day or two. And that's my street garden. And I'm just showing you one of the first mornings where we had a little bit of frost, and this was after the sun was on it, and so you got to see some of the droplets glistening in the sunlight. And these guys are cutting that into the curb for some reason there, right there on Martin Luther King Boulevard, and it put a lot of cars were stopping and going slowly through that intersection because of the dust flying from that concrete cutting. Meanwhile, on the property adjacent, just a few feet, 100 feet from that corner where the construction's going on, there's this fire, and you notice the smoke's going up, but also as the wind hits it in gusts, it's blowing off the property to our left there. We're looking south from MLK, and that was pretty dangerous. I spoke with the gentleman there about did they check, do they have a permit from the fire department? Did they check on the regulations? And of course they said no, it couldn't possibly affect anybody else. Well, smoke and the potential ashes that might fall and start a fire on somebody else's property are pretty important. That's milkweed. That's the African milkweed that we talked about before. So anyway, lots of things going on. Can't possibly talk about everything going on in Fayetteville on a 5-minute segment ever. Till next time, this is Aubrey Shepherd asking you to do your part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, and the woods green. See ya.